Hello, all of you Vainglorious wonderful people. This is the HVY Biff, and I'm about to find out if it'll off-road. This is the second most voted for vehicle this week, coming in with 90 votes. Actually, it could be more by now, because I haven't checked the voting in a few days when I'm recording this voiceover. You can vote for the vehicles that you want to see featured in Will It Off-Road by clicking on the link in the description down below. And we are lined up on the starting line, and we are off in this massive, heavily loaded tipper truck. Though it doesn't ever tipper. It just stays there in GTA. But whatever, we can all, imagine. And, it's doing all right. It doesn't really want to, corner too well. But it seems to have the grunt to go here. The torque in the low end to move all that speed. And even managed to shift up a couple gears. That might work against it, though. Once we get higher up, I don't know. So far, we're not in really steep territory yet. Just trying to, more than anything, keep this thing upright right now. I know it doesn't seem like it's from what we've seen so far, but this truck loves to tip over. Look at that. Just that little bit of elevation change, and suddenly the Biff was going a lot slower. If you're wondering why there's animals, well, if you look up to the top right, you'll see I was in director mode, because once I found one of these, I wasn't about to drive it all the way out here to Mount Chiliad, so I just used director mode. Because you could teleport. Ooh, hiker down. You can teleport in director mode. Whoop, there we go. There's tips over, but look, whoop, right over. It just comes right back. So, gonna back up here, try to get some speed. I think that's what I do here. I don't know, it's been a while since I recorded this and edited the video all together between the time that I'm actually recording the voiceover. Definitely, wow, that hiker lived. She's running away. All right. No one's helping you, darling. All right, so get a little speed here, run up to it. Hopefully don't tip over this time. And that's the problem, because it's such a sharp turn at such a weird angle. The speed means it's going to want to tip over, but yet I need the speed to carry through that corner if I'm going to have any hopes of this truck getting past this section. Trying to go to the outside here. Doing a lot better this time, but right there we start struggling again. Which that, well, it makes me not so happy that we had those problems. So, as I ponder what to do, because I really do want this truck to make it, we're going to give it another shot here. Backing it up just a little bit. Trying to be careful that I don't get too off. Whoa, and a massive shadow of a plane just went over us. Trying to make sure I don't get it too far off the path. Then I decided, yeah, let's just go all the way down and see if we can't just gun it from all the way back here. Get some good speed. See if we can keep it from tipping over. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Oh, it wanted to come up, and that was the fatal flaw there. It meant that I just don't have enough speed to carry through this really steep section. And it is way steeper than it actually looks. And I don't know if we've been counting. What was that, my third attempt? Yeah, I think that was the third attempt. Maybe the fourth. But you know what? Let's try it one more time. One more time can't hurt. I mean, it could hurt that hiker back there if I kept backing up, but, Alright, here we go. Trying to find a way to keep some speed. Definitely carried a lot more speed in through there, but as it shifted down, we have to ask ourselves, will it off-road? It won't. I actually spent about another 5 minutes trying to get the Biff to go higher up, and, well, it just never wanted to do it. It just never could get there. But that doesn't mean that I can't teleport to the top of Mount Chiliad and fling it off the side of the mountain to see how much damage it can sustain. So here we go. This is going to be a pretty short run because this thing does not have any armor whatsoever. You can't upgrade it in Los Santos Customs, and there it goes. Of course, I had invincibility turned on, so, well, I survived, even if the Biff was a total loss. But that is going to bring us to our next vehicle. The Lampadati Pigalle. This is the vehicle with the most votes this week, Coming in with over 100, exactly 101 votes in Will It Off-Road. So don't forget to go vote for the vehicles that you want to see tested in Will It Off-Road by clicking the link in the description down below. And if you're a Patreon supporter, sorry, I just had to pause. I love the sound this car makes. If you're a Patreon supporter, your votes can potentially count double. So head over to patreon.com/Vainglorious and look for way into those rewards to get your votes to count double. We are actually in GTA Online, not in director mode anymore, because I own this car. I love the Pigalle. I love its quirky looks and the quirkiness of the car that it's based on. I love its very European license plate. I think that's the only car in the game that maintains that really wide European license plate. I know that's really divisive for some people and they don't like it, but I think it's perfect. Plus it's yellow headlights, which we will get a peek at. This is a front-wheel drive car, so it tends to do all right off-road. Though you do have to be careful when it's front-wheel drive because those wheels are driving and they're also your steering. So if the wheels start spinning, well, you don't have enough friction to both move the car forward and try to steer. So if they're spinning, you lose even more, and well, yeah. You don't have friction at all when the wheels spin. And so you can't turn and you kind of get stuck. So you got to be careful that when the wheel spin kicks in, that you don't let it go for too long. And you can see here in some of these sections, it's really hard to find that sweet spot on the throttle of the Pigalle so that we can actually keep moving forward and maintain some sense of control over this bizarre French-inspired car. And that explains why I'm constantly on and off the throttle as well. You can hear that. If you listen close to the engine of the car, you'll hear that I'm just on and off, on and off, on and off the gas, trying to keep it right in a good spot so that I can just go. Because we want to get up the mountain, because I think that this car is going to be capable of a pretty decent time. If you may not remember, but back in the day, the Pigalle was actually very competitive in the Sports Classics class when it came to circuit racing. It has long since been relegated to, the has-beens. But that doesn't mean that it can't still turn in a really good time. And that's what I'm trying to push for with this car by just keeping it just in control, but also just really trying to take it right to its limit so that we can get a pretty decent time. And it looks like we're going to do just that. I mean, we're just now coming up to the 3-minute mark. And we're nearly to the top of Mount Chiliad. I don't think we're going to break the 3-minute mark. Matter of fact, I know we're not. But I think we're still going to turn in a somewhat decent time. Coming up around the last little section here before we make our final climb up the very slippery, very steep side of the peak. And how does the Lampadati Pigalle do? It does all right, kind of bobbing and weaving all around. But we are finally up. 3 minutes, 23 seconds. Will it off-road? Yes. Yeah, it did pretty good, actually. Little struggles here and there, but look at that long wheelbase, that front wheel drive in the dirt down the side as I adjusted the camera. Hopefully you didn't notice that bit. But yeah, it definitely off-roads. So let's take it back down Mount Chiliad and find out how we do for a controlled descent. We are high centering on a couple things there. Not a good start, but now that we're down a little bit, looks like sunset is upon us. I always try to record more towards high noon, but sometimes, especially with my weird work schedule, I don't always get the luxury. And I just have to go with whatever time it happens to be in the lobby when it's time to record. The nice thing about doing cars in director mode, though, is I can just set the time of day and unlock it to whatever I want it to be. So the Pigalle is doing all right on the controlled descent, getting a little squirrely in some of these sections, which is not particularly a lightweight vehicle. I mean, it's smaller, but it's not as lightweight as some. But at least it's not getting thrown around. It seems like more than anything, it just has to do with brakes locking up and losing a little bit of grip when the wheels spin. But it handled that jump back there beautifully. Let's see how it handles this uneven bit. Fairly well, a little unsettled. Let's see how we do here on this first jump. Little front heavy, back in wanting to come around, but nothing that wasn't controllable at all. I mean, that was all very easy to keep composed. So let's push it even harder. Whoa, wanting to go up on 2 wheels. That was a pretty jump. A little bit hard on the landing, but again, nothing that presented a problem that meant we were out of control when we did finally. Ooh, that was a hard landing. Get back on the ground. Coming up to our last jump. Got on 2 wheels just before it, but managed to go very flat. Almost didn't have enough braking power to avoid going over the edge, but just at the last second, it slowed itself down enough. So coming down our last really wide, really well-pronounced trail here. Able to get on the gas a little bit because it's mostly straight. Going back up just a little bit to the final, more obscured bit of dirt. And had to hit the brakes hard there so that I could make that corner. Back end, of course, staying in line because it's front-wheel drive cars, so the back wheels aren't trying to kick out and cause any type of oversteer. Though this car has been understeering a little bit, but not too terribly bad. There, it really kind of kicked in. But we're on pavement. This thing has really good acceleration. Look at that. I mean, just look at that. That's pretty impressive if you think about it and what this car actually is. But we are down 2 minutes, 44 seconds. So how about we go back to the top of the mountain? Yes, I thought you'd want to join me here. And fling this car off the side and see what's what. This one does have 100% armor. And if you're new to this series, all the cars I test typically will have all performance upgrades and all the armor. There's what I'm looking for. All the armor will be upgraded as well to try to help avoid too much damage to the car. And mainly, you know, to keep it from exploding. Because everybody loves to watch a car tumble down the mountain without blowing up. The occasional one blowing up is kind of fun, but, you know. Look at those bright yellow headlights just before they get permanently knocked out, which I know is coming. Not really sure exactly when it happens, but it's coming. We've lost a door. If we lost a hood, we've lost a hood. And I think we've even lost a front bumper up there. I don't know what that piece was that just came off. Maybe that was the hood neatness. Ooh, we've got an engine rattle going on. That's not good. Actually, on that impact back there, that took a little bit of my health. Taking a bit of an unconventional route around those 2 big boulders back there. And just managed to avoid the tree in that boulder, but not so lucky there. And I think that was the final headlight. Gone. Going around to the left again this time. Car is wanting to kick up in really weird ways. That is the one downside, I guess, if you had to find one in the Pigalle, is that its physics are sometimes just a little bit weird. You know, that front wheel drive burnout as I try to get unstuck here. Yeah, this is fail, fail, fail. There we go. All right, keep moving forward. I just love the general hum that this thing's exhaust makes. Yeah, that's a pretty nasty engine rattle there. But we are coming up out of here. Oh, into the woodpile. There's my buddy Rocket stranded on a roof. He must have had an incident coming down the mountain. But we are down 2 minutes, 1 second. So let's take a look at the damage. All the lights and windows are gone. The front bumper is missing, and the rear bumper is barely hanging on. The hood is gone. The right door is gone. It has mild body damage, bent wheels, and significant engine damage. Hey, don't forget to go vote for the vehicles that you want to see featured in Will It Off-Road by clicking on the link down below. And until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.